What is up, friend and fellow anti-netter? So, 2 days ago, I hopped on a call with my business partner, Sam Markowitz. Sam is and was the very last protege that the best copywriter of all time, Sir Gary of Halbert, ever took on. Sam lived with Gary for a year, and Sam learned from the one of the best, I think, copywriters and really characters and thinkers that has ever walked this earth. And this is coming from someone, admittedly myself, who I've never met Gary, but I've read every single word of his newsletters, and I get the sense there's like a kindred spirit that is shared between Gary and I think all of us, and it comes through in his writings. And anyway, the point of this is not going to be about me just, freaking glorifying Gary Halbert. The point of this is that I hopped on this call with Sam because we talk, maybe like at least like, I don't know, maybe lately like 2 or 3 times a month, which is, believe me, like more than enough for me and probably both of us. I like to think and be free and solo and write and all of that stuff. Anyway, this past call that we had, we hopped on it because I sent Sam a brain dump email because I was really frustrated last week. I was frustrated because I was on the tail end of, which you probably heard in my previous podcast, and it sounded like it. I was at the tail end of, my monthly practice of writing out and publishing the best physical monthly newsletter in the world about knowledge, writing, and marketing. And, I've come out of the gate really hot, and I have really, in my opinion, over-delivered on the quality and the length of my newsletter issues. And as such, it has taken about 2 full weeks every single month to publish the newsletter. And I was frustrated, and I just brain dumped, kind of like, here's my thoughts, here's my plans, my strategies, here's what I want to tweak, here's the things, here's my jobs, here's the things that I'm doing, here's where I'm allocating my time and my energy, and here's where I want to delegate stuff, and here's all of this stuff. And that was part of the conversation, and that was a large part of the conversation. So it all centered around okay, I want to actually start clearing my plate more and getting a lot more deliberate and selective with my time, which is why, if you've been listening to my podcasts recently, it's why I'm reading right now the book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog, which is all about time management, which really there's no such thing as time management or productivity. There's really just one thing. It's life energy management. So that's part of the reason I'm reading that, is because the big thing that I've been chipping away at for the past 6 months, and I think it's going to be one of the ultimate products that I ever create, is is really where I want to allocate my mind energy, my life energy. And the problem is I've got these other things that are eating up that time. Now, of course, my physical monthly newsletter and writing that is critical, and it is important, and I always wanted to do that because that is how I develop my ideas. It's how I sharpen my thinking. It is you have to choose basically the problems that you want to, that you're never going to have an easy life. So what you should do is choose the problems that you are okay with. And the problems that I'm okay with is the problem of sitting on my ass, having assiduity, which means sitting on your ass until you do it, and writing out a physical monthly newsletter every month and thinking and developing the mind. Sure, that's a problem that's hard, but freaking A, if I can make my life revolve around that, that's the problem I would choose to have. That's the life I would choose to have. The problems that I do not want to choose to have are that of Elon Musk, running 3 separate organizations with thousands of employees each, and putting out fires every single week, like literally and figuratively, like SpaceX type of fires. Like, no, you know what? I'm good with that. Like, with me, I would rather do like what I did yesterday. I freaking started the day by neuro-imprinting The Great Gatsby and injecting that great writing and that great prose into my mind. So anyway, I was talking with Sam about just the sheer pain in the ass and the suckiness of the physical monthly newsletter taking me 2 full weeks to write per month. And, the reason is that number one is my most recent edition of the newsletter, which I wrote out by hand, every word, and edited the living hell out of, was 24 pages. And, Gary Halbert's newsletters were 8 pages. They're a lot more succinct, but they're also like perfect length. And so I'm talking to Sam. I'm like, hey, like, how long did Gary take to like write his newsletters per month? And he's like, honestly, like from what I can remember and recall. And by the way, Sam is someone who ghost wrote some of Gary's newsletters. Okay. So Sam said, like, I remember like Gary would sit down in just one sitting, like with a legal pad, one day, and knock out the newsletter. So he got it to 1 day a month, 8 pages. And I'm sure, maybe he spent another day, maybe 2 editing after that. And so what we decided, what we came upon is the realization that I've had all along, which is, okay, I need to figure out how to get my writing process. I was thinking down to 1 week to start, aka 5 days. And so 5 days to produce 16 pages. But then Sam asked me a question. He's like, okay, I know you want to like move down to 16 pages, but why not 8? And I'm like, that is a great question. Because I'm thinking like my people, my subscribers, like I put up a poll and people they of course, because they love the content I put out. And if you're listening to this, you probably saw the poll in members.scottshepard.com, which is only accessible for, my paid monthly newsletter subscribers, right, of the Scott Shepard letter. And you probably saw that poll. And most people were like, you know what, I'll say, I like the more the better, but honestly, any length that gets the point across, like quality over quantity of pages. And that's the feeling I get as well, because, man, this issue number 5, this super issue, 24 pages, is a beast. And I feel like I might lose subscribers, lose people that it just feels like homework stacking up. So, the question is like, okay, maybe I'm going to go down, I'm going to, start with 16 pages in my next issue. That's going to be my target. And I might flirt with the idea of moving down to 12. We'll see. And then from there, maybe I'll flirt with the idea of moving down to 8 to give people more digestible chunks of knowledge each month that they can then apply. Now, one of the reasons also that I like the idea of shortening this is because with the top secret product that I am developing, right now, the whole UTSM, which you're going to learn about in issue number 5, meaning my unconventional, transcendent, simple message. It really revolves around, that I'm going to show people how to make 6 figures per year, writing one thing per month by hand. Now, what Sam and I, we were like, our call went for like 2 hours and we were fleshing this out. And I'm like, you know what? Like, honestly, over time, like, yeah, in the beginning of doing this model in this framework that I'm going to be teaching, in the beginning, it's going to take a little bit longer. Like, it's going to take, probably like 2 weeks to do really well, 2 weeks of writing per month. But it can, and I know for a fact I can, if I just shorten the scope, I can get it down such that I'm just writing out by hand one day a month, right? And then of course, like there's the next day will be, an editing day or the next day will be putting it into, Word or your text program in digital format. And then the next day is just editing, and that's it. So it's like 3 days total, but 1 day of writing. And so, which is awesome because it kind of changes the angle, changes the pitch of my UTSM such that I can authentically, say and get people and train people how to do what I'm about to do, which is how to make 6 figures per year, writing 1 day a month by hand, right? So it will tweak my UTSM, and I'm 50-50 on this. I'm obviously going to make it clear that, hey, this is not an easy road. It's like writing 1 day by hand on a Yellow Legal pad, like the old way, the deliberate way, the anti-net way, the hard way. If you're a lazy person and you're looking for just like an easy opportunity, take a hike. This is not for you. But I can authentically stand by that core message because I'm going to be, essentially doing that. And really, if you look at the scope of what I have been doing and how much I've been producing, to produce an 8 to 12 page newsletter, it has been taking me 1 day of writing, right? Of writing out by hand. I, of course, spend 3 or 4 more days writing out more because I just want to freaking over deliver to my people. But really, if the minimum viable product, the MVP of this, is really just writing 1 day by hand. So it tweaks my UTSM, which I am very much considering right now. And that would be, I show people how to make 6 figures per year writing 1 day a month by hand. By writing one thing 1 day per month by hand. So that's where my head is at right now. That's what's going on in my mind. And what's freaking awesome is because I have scheduled these podcasts out, by the time you listen to this, you're going to start to see that message come to fruition. And you're also going to see me enact and instantiate and live out that whole concept. And now you know where it comes from. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you enjoy the behind the scenes and the thoughts of really creating a movement and creating something awesome. And that's really all I wanted to share with you. I just got to the office. I'm quite frankly kind of tired because last night I took my freaking awesome, entrepreneurial, beautiful, sweet, kind, amazing girlfriend to a winery place, and I had a crispy Chardonnay, of course, and then we took my Tesla into camp mode and overlooked the beautiful harbor of Dana Point. So I'm a little saucy today, a little sluggish, a little slow, but guess what? I'm going to go up to my office right now, pull out one of my beautiful Mont Blanc pens, pull out a physical analog knowledge product, aka a book. I'm going to do about 5 to 10 minutes of knowledge dev. Then I'm going to dive back into writing the thing that is going to transform people's lives. Anyway, hope this gets your mind going and hope this helps. Just want to say, always remember to stay crispy, my friend. Peace and love.